Record this because we have some remote students, we have online students, we have some high school students taking the class, and just want to record the video of us in class together so that they could have that class experience if they want to grab it and gain a little bit of wisdom, insight about what we're learning, what we're talking about. My name's Todd McLeod. I'll be your teacher, and I hope to share with you a lot of knowledge and wisdom and blah, blah, blah about computers. And by the time you leave this class, you're going to know how computers work. You'll understand binary and zeros and ones and what makes machines do what they do. Plus, more importantly, your skills are going to be a lot better with computers. And so everybody knows, man, we got to know how to use computers to get by in this world. So this is a real practical, applicable class. Learning the material in this class is going to help you in life, no matter what you end up doing. So just one of the deals about technology is that when we get together, like if I was fighting, if I was boxing, I used to do like kickboxing and karate. And when you fight in karate, that's all you do. You fight. You don't fight and like check your text messages at the same time, otherwise you get hit. Right? It's like you're in the ring, you're fighting, that's all you do is you fight. And same way in here, right? Karate, kickboxing, you get in the ring, you do kickboxing. In here, you get in the classroom, you do learning. And so when we're in the ring, we kickbox, we fight. When we're in the classroom, we learn. And so to that extent, yeah, that's fine, man. We all got these cell phones. We got family at home. We got kids. We might have some important message come in. But you step outside, take care of it, and then come back in. But like when we're learning together, let's learn together. And keep our eyes on the ball and be focused and get things done and then get out so we could get home to dinner, loved ones, a little relaxation, and get our job done together learning this material. So that sound good? All right, cool. Who needs a little bit of like, usually the first day, I call this just kind of like laying the groundwork. And the first day I talk to people a little bit about the right mindset. So when I did kickboxing, when I did swimming, I did some competitive swimming, not in high school or college. I missed it when I was young. I was doing other stuff. But when I got older, they have this thing called master swimming, which isn't for like masters, like because you're so good. It's because you're too old to be in school. But I had a great coach, the best coach of my life. And the most important thing you learn before you do any event, whether it's kickboxing or swimming, any sport like that, is having the right mindset. You got to have the right mindset. So I just like to take a little bit of time before at the beginning of every semester and just reflect on what that mindset is. So that we all have, and that's just kind of like laying the groundwork, so we all have the right mindset for the endeavor we're about to embark upon, which is learning some material. How many people are here? This is like your first semester at college. Anybody? Sweet, welcome. And how many people have been here, like you? This is maybe your last semester. Let me see your hands. Sweet, congratulations. Everybody else is somewhat in between. You've had a little bit of experience. You've had some persistence. You've stuck it out. So the most important thing, which is going to make you successful as a student, and this is backed up by research, is grit. Grit. And it's just persistence and sticking it out. Persistence and sticking it out. And I got a story to tell you about my dad. I don't know, maybe also about myself. I'll have to think about that one for a second. But just make sure we're still recording. Sweet. So there's a TED Talk, and it's Ted Angela Duckworth Grit. And so she's a psychologist who studied what makes students successful. And the number one factor that makes students successful isn't IQ. It's like just sticking with it. Just do it. Man, don't give up. You make it your number one priority or your number two priority if you got kids, or number three if you got kids and work, so you got to pay rent, put food on the table, and you say, come hell or high water, I'm making that happen. I don't care if it takes me 2 years or 4 years, that's going down. Will Smith puts it this way. He said, I might not be the smartest guy in Hollywood. I might not be the best looking guy in Hollywood, but I'm the hardest working guy in Hollywood. He's got persistence and grit. He goes, you put me on a treadmill with somebody who's smarter and better looking, and one of two things is going to happen. That other person's going to step off or I'm going to die because I ain't giving up. I'll just keep going until I beat that person. And it's that kind of an attitude, right? Got to have the right mental framework when you approach this endeavor of school because it's a big journey. It's that kind of an attitude that's going to get you through it and help make you successful. And I share that with you because I've been working here for 17 years, since 2000. And I've seen a lot of students come in and not make it. And I want you to make it. You want to make it. That's why you're here tonight. You got a dream. You're thinking, I could do something more with my life. And so an important part for you to realize that dream is to know what is the number one factor that makes students successful. It's persistence and it's grit. It's just sticking it out, sticking in there. So I sometimes call that cultivating the garden of life. The garden of life takes effort. Who wants to know how to tell the future? Nobody? Okay, cool. Interact with me a little bit. Who wants to know how to tell the future? Anybody? We all kind of know this is grandma's wisdom. And grandma's wisdom, is like the seeds that you plant today will be the crop that you harvest tomorrow. The Bible says it like this, that which you sow, so shall ye reap. Right? You plant good seeds today, you are going to harvest a good crop in the future. That's cultivating the garden of life. Right? It takes effort. I love that analogy, the garden of life, because a garden takes effort. What happens to your garden if you don't plant seeds and you don't do anything? Shrivels up, dies, grows weeds. Maybe if it does grow something, it's luck, chance, but you're not going to get a desired, expected outcome. You're not going to have a beautiful garden. This is your garden, your life. You want a good garden, it takes effort. It takes daily persistence, right? Grit, you stick with it. You get the soil ready, kind of doing that right now, preparing the mind. You plant the right seeds. You pull out that which isn't helpful, right? Certain points in my life, I had to pull out going to the movies. I don't got time. I'm focused on other things right now. Certain points in my life, I had to pull out hanging out with certain kinds of people. Oh man, those people aren't helping me move the ball forward to where I want to be, right? Certain point in my life, I gave up drinking. Not because I had a problem with drinking, but because it kind of took me off point. And it didn't allow me to get done when I wanted to get done. And I read a study that said even drinking beer will make your mind not perform as well. All right, so I had to pull out those things which weren't making my garden what I wanted it to be. Just like in a real garden, you pull out the weeds. And then I had to cultivate that garden, plant the right seeds, water it, make sure it's all going well. Every day, put effort into it. So that's how you could start to realize life that you want. And you got to enjoy the journey. So it can't just be like, I got to get there, whatever, hell or high water. Enjoy the process. School's a cool place to hang out. Right? You get to meet new people. You get to be social. You get to have fun. You get to learn things. You get to grow your skill set and gain, new skills, which will open up new doors of opportunity for you. When they study what makes people happy, it's having great social support, having good social community, but also having value, feeling like you matter, you contribute to that social community. That's what makes people happy. So having a skill which is valuable, coming to school, learning that skill, being able to offer value back to the community, society, that's going to help make you happy. If you're all Marines, I forget, anybody here a Marine or was a Marine? No. Hoorah, right? Like, yeah, that's right. How many people that helps you a little bit get on point, get your mind on point? Nobody. All right, that was a total waste of breath on my part. Is there anybody that helps you get on point a little bit? Just because I need to be reminded of that stuff. Like when I drive, I kind of stopped listening to music. Like every now and then I like listening to music, but mostly it's like, I don't know, man, I've heard that stuff. And it's just another take on the same thing. Kind of like Fast and Furious 42. What are they on now? Fast and Furious 14. It's like, oh, a submarine coming out of the ice, and then it all explodes. And oh my God, there's a torpedo on the ice, and I'll redirect where it's going, and it blows up. Man, I've seen all that stuff. When I drive now, I listen to talks. Like right now, I'm listening to a talk by the chief negotiator, former chief negotiator for the FBI, called Never Split the Difference, on skillful negotiating. Don't ever ask people why. It makes them defensive. You always want to ask how and what. What can we do to achieve that? Just keep asking them questions. And then they solve the problem for you. But when I drive, I listen to stuff because I got to be reminded, coming full circle. I got to be reminded. So it helps me when I'm reminded, staying on point, right? Hearing the right messages, cultivating the garden of life. That's part of it. Feeding myself the right stuff so that I remember that's the kind of life I want to live. I'm consciously cultivating my life. I'm not waiting for somebody to make it a certain way for me. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to learn good things. I'm going to have an awesome garden. It's going to be beautiful. It'll produce good crop. I'll be able to take care of my loved ones. How many people that helps you? That's a good little reminder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many people, I just want to learn computers and get home. All right, so that's the introduction. All right, anybody have anything they want to comment on that? Part of life's also to be engaged. When I was an undergraduate, I didn't speak up much because I was afraid of looking like an idiot, and I wanted to be liked by pretty women, cute girls, women, college, great girls, women. You know? Not be thought, oh, he's a fool. But what I've learned is if you really want to be likable, man, let your little light shine. Whoever you are. And then you'll quickly filter out. A lot of people say, man, that dude's not for me. That's cool. I'm not for everybody. But then some people will be like, he's kind of funny. I like that guy. And then you find the people that like you. But if you're just quiet, it doesn't do any good. So engage in life, participate. When I got to grad school, I thought, hell with it. I don't care what people think of me. I just kept asking questions. And I was afraid. And my professors maybe thought that I was dumb, but I just kept asking questions. And students would sometimes say to me, dude, thanks for asking those questions. I didn't understand either. Why didn't you ask them? I was like the only one asking questions out of a class of 30. And then I ended up getting all A's and 1B, and they gave me the Dean's Medal list, which said, hey, you're the best student from the graduating class when I got my master's degree. Because I just worked hard. My dad's story of persistence and grit, he failed the math exam to get into college in Canada. My dad's side of the family's from Canada. And so he left Canada and went to America, where it was an easier math exam. And he went to university, Wesleyan United Methodist, or I don't know, some religious university. And he just kept staying in school because he didn't like working at the bank. And he liked school better than work. And then he got a doctorate and went back to Canada and taught at the universities that wouldn't let him in 8 years before. Just stick with it, man. You just stick with it. That persistence, that grit. All right. So we're going to watch this little video on Angela Duckworth talking about it. Before we do that, does anybody else have anything they want to add to it? After my little pep talk on being engaged. Let's hear it. Were you raising your hand? You wanted to add to it? I've had some hearing loss in my life. So unless you're like, I might be missing you. What was that? You're just scratching your head. You're like, please take the spotlight off of me. Cool. I see a lot of potential out here in each one of you. And that's one of the reasons I like being a teacher, is helping people realize and unlock the potential in their own life. And it's actually the most satisfying payment is helping others. It's the most satisfying payment you could get for doing any job. Of course, you got to have the practical reality of putting food on the table and paying rent. But also, if you could somehow couple that together, making money with helping others, man, the helping others part is a wonderful payment. So I look out here and I see a lot of potential in each one of you. And you could all achieve amazing things. But it takes that persistence. It takes that grit. I had a couple of teachers in my life. One of the teachers put it this way: drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. Drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. Every day, put a drop in. After 3 months, you might look in your bucket and you say, man, there's not much water in there. Keep putting drops in. After 3 years, you look in your bucket and you'd be like, man, I've learned some stuff. After 10 years, putting a drop in every day, and by drop, I mean like you're working at school an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, working on something, trying to get good at it. After 10 years, it's going to be a lot of water in your bucket. You're going to be good at something. Drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. And then another teacher I had, he had a really deep, resonant voice, really baritone, and very resonant, right? He would say in a very slow way so that, it would just detonate in your head. Persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. Persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. But it's awesome, because then I'd be like laying in bed at home after working hard all day, and I'd be hearing persistently, patiently, you are bound to succeed. And you know what? It's true. So you just got to have that grit, that persistence, stick with it. You're on the right path. Getting your bachelor's degree, your associate's degree, your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, your doctorate, going to open up worlds of opportunity for you, and you all have that possibility in your life. You got more than 10 years of living left in you, you got that potential. You could realize any one of those. And there's people that help you all along the ways, but sometimes you got to keep knocking on their doors. Just got to keep knocking. Hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? I want to do this. How do I get funding? How do I get into UC Berkeley? I want to get into their master's program, their bachelor's program. How do I do it? You just keep knocking, keep knocking. You gotta make your life happen. Cool. Anybody else? What's up? Let's hear it. Awesome. Thanks for engaging.
You said that you have been teaching for 17 years. Did you graduate from Fresno City College?
I went to UCLA. When I was in high school, I studied. I enjoyed doing documentaries, and I'd win. I'd create documentaries and enter them in History Day competition, this thing, and I'd win at the state level, and then I'd go to nationals, and I'd just do okay there. I really liked making documentaries, so I went to UCLA to study film. But when I was 18 and 19, I did well in high school, so that's how I got into UCLA. But I spun out, and I had trouble when I was young. I was like the bad roommate, and I wasn't well socialized, and I'd drink all my roommates' beer and never do my dishes. And I had some lessons of life to learn, and so I got kind of depressed and felt like I was failing socially, the importance of social. And so I took a little time off from university, and then I went back to UC Santa Cruz, where one of my friends was going, and I graduated with a degree in economics. And then I waited tables for a while, just traveled, and then went to Hawaii. And after a while, I realized I want to do more than wait tables, so I moved back home. I went to Fresno State, the business program, and got an MBA, and that was '98. And then I worked for a couple different companies. Did financial investment advising for a little bit, but realized that wasn't for me, and did real estate loans for a little bit and didn't really like that, and then did like a technology website business where I was just like doing the business side of it with these people who were father, son, and a friend, and they were always fighting. I did that for 9 months and then left. And the day I left, I was like, man, you guys are always fighting. It's too hard. A position came open to teach accounting for a year here. And so I stepped into that and taught accounting 2000, 2001. And then I was really good with computers, so they asked me to come over to the computer side. And I came over to the computer side, and I've been on the computer side 2001 to the present.
So
But
you're still in LA back in time, then you moved here?
I was only in LA 2 years, maybe a year and a half at UCLA, and then UC Santa Cruz, and then Hawaii, and then back here in '96, 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Life goes quick. Thanks. That's my past. Anybody else? Yeah, what's up?
Any podcast recommendations?
Podcast recommendations? Yes. So Reid Hoffman, Masters of Scale, is amazing and awesome. Reid Hoffman is one of the founders of PayPal, and so he interviews like Mark Zuckerberg, Sharon Sandberg, and like Brian Chesky, the founder of Airbnb, and he just asks him, hey, your life story, how'd you get here, what makes your business successful, and it's super on point, super informative, some of the most engaged, innovative, successful minds of our time talking to this guy about how they built their business. And so this is great. It's great. Love that one. Any other questions?
Did you ever think about teaching when you were younger?
Yeah, my dad was a teacher, and his friends were all teachers. He ended up at Fresno State, the university, so I grew up around teachers. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I was young. I thought film. Still love film. And I think teaching at the community college is a really nice place to be. K through 12 looks pretty hard. Long hours. It's different hard here. So just kind of happened for me. I also own and run this company, and we just turned this on 2 months ago. But I teach the web programming stuff here, and so this is a place where anybody could create a course and upload it and sell it to the world. And I believe, you teach skills, knowledge, wisdom, motivation, and inspiration. You try to teach all of those. I call that the education hierarchy, right? Just like Maslow had his hierarchy of needs, from skills all the way up to inspiration. The basics are the skills, and then the inspiration is I want to inspire my students to realize their full potential. And that's what my business card says, is unlock the potential in your own life and in the lives of others. You could create courses, put them up here, and sell them to the world. So if you know anybody who's a teacher in your life, and they teach something, man, they could create this course. Last year I taught 528,918 students online. Over 500,000 students, like in Nigeria, Africa, Eastern Europe. One of the students is Barnabas from Hungary. And then Barnabas and I became friends online. He said, hey, I want to come over to America. I said, come stay with me, man. And he flew over and spent 6 weeks this summer with me and all my friends, who are coding this thing up together. And you could go meet Barnabas right here. I have sometimes I make videos because I like film. So here's Barnabas and I,
Can you guys hear me out there now?
So Barnabas is my Hungarian friend, and so we went out to the movies one night. We made a movie going out to the movies. But the point being, you could teach. It's amazing. You could teach people all over the world. And I used to, now it's opened up for anybody. At first, it's just my courses, but now anybody can put their courses on there. It's pretty amazing. Any other questions? Cool. Let's watch Angela Duckworth and we'll learn some stuff about computers. So if you're watching this video online, you're in my online class or something like that, we're going to watch Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Lee Duckworth. And just this amazing world, like one, you know, in her book, she talks about this guy, Cody Coleman, who came from a hard background, like grew up tough, and then somebody inspired him, kind of shared sort of what I've shared with you tonight. And he said, to hell with it, I'm going to unlock potential in my life. What can I do in my life? And he put his mind to it in high school, and then he got into MIT, and then he graduated MIT, and now he's at Stanford getting his PhD in computer science. And so I you know, read this in her book about this kid, Cody Coleman, and so I forget how I got his, maybe I found him on Twitter, and I messaged him on Twitter, and now Cody and I talk. You know, it's like, you know, every now and then we'll touch base because he's studying really interesting stuff and getting his doctorate. I do computer stuff. And it's like, wow, it's a really cool world that you can connect with people like that. All right, so if you're watching this online, go check out Angela Duckworth Grit. We're going to watch that, and then we'll do some computer stuff. Get the class going.